States of America and go from frack zone, and then you're out of it for 2 hours, then you hit another frack zone the next state and you're out of it for another hour, and then you hit another one for 6 hours, and you drive down through the western slope of Colorado, and then you're out of it for a little while, and then you hit the northern western tip of New Mexico and you're in it for a while, and then you get across and you hit Texas, and it just keeps going like that. And I was thinking about what I was going to say tomorrow, and I just had this horrible, disgusting story from Stephen King that came to my mind. And are there members from the press here? Were they invited?
Yes, they got the release. I don't know where they are. Boo.
Okay, but what are these people here? You guys are the press, right? The last time I was in D.C., I got arrested for being the only press in a hearing. You know, you guys are the press, right? Anyway, I wanted the mainstream to think about Stephen King. So there's a story about a guy who gets, it's a crazy story. It's called Survivor Tale or something. He gets marooned on a desert island. He's a doctor and he's a morphine addict. And he's washed up on this he's like the drug dealer's doctor or something. And they're all dead. And he's on this desert island, there's no food. And he's sitting there like trying to figure out what to eat. And he keeps injecting himself with more and more morphine. And then finally, he gets so hungry that he cuts off his foot, and he eats it. This is the Stephen King story. And then he's kind of getting further into this sort of weird drug-addled and on his own foot, crazy, and he cuts off the next part of his leg, you know. And then he goes to the other foot and the other part, and he gets all the way up. And the story ends, you know, with him tying off the arteries in his leg, trying to get a little bit more of himself to eat. And to me, it's the apt metaphor for what we're doing here in the United States of America. We're not sacrificing pockets. We are going from place to place. Because when I thought about these bike rides, I thought, well, next summer we should get a bike ride going from every state to each one of these places and point out that America's not a thing to be eaten, you know. America, after doing this for, you know, you travel around enough, and Bill knows, America is your body, you know. This accent that you hear from John here, and then this one from Robert Finney over there, from Arkansas, you know, from Pittsburgh. And this is parts of your being that you start cutting off. And when I asked Lon Burnham, state representative from Fort Worth, he said, there's really absolutely nothing new about this. We've been doing extractive energy at the expense of indigenous populations for the entire history of this country. The thing that's kind of unique about this is now there's a lot of white, upper middle class people who are being treated the same way third world people have always been treated. That's the direct quote. It'll be in Gasland too. And then he starts talking about Avatar, and I really want to keep it, but I think we have to cut it. Because Gasland and Avatar is the same movie, basically. We are the blue people, if you haven't figured that part of it out. But I'm bringing it up because we're eating ourselves. And there are people in the buildings not far from here who are taking the money to make sure that we're living in hell and that we're living in fear. The gas industry has come out with article after article this week that says I'm fear-mongering. Well, I'm afraid. The honest truth, right? It's scary as hell to be staring down what Jenny is talking about every day. All over this nation, people are not alone. And guess what? The press isn't here. So you have to do that job. I have to do that job. You have to jump up and say, I'm going to be the press for the 25 people that I know. Or maybe make a YouTube video and hope it gets into Sundance or something like that. You know? But this is the incredible experience that I've had. So I'm incredibly humbled to be here to talk about it. But as Bill says in the new article, there is an enemy. And we have to make sure that we start to know their name. corporations. The people who run Chesapeake, ExxonMobil, and Shell. The people who take their money to get elected so that they don't listen to you. There's a great website. Is Steve in the house? Kreutzmann? DirtyEnergyMoney.com. You can look up your representative and find out how much money they took. Because when we made the video, the image for that video was of a horizontal wellbore going down into the earth, snaking underneath the Capitol, and injecting money into the chamber to blow the top off of the Capitol. Because that is what is happening. We are being outsized. We are being outsized. We are being outspent. And this amazing thing, which I experience and know of America, which is in every piece of me, that is what we're supposed to be building here, representing here. My body, my foot, my leg, my arm, my hands, my fingertips, my eyes. Not ExxonMobil, Halliburton, and Shell, and the chemicals that they would inject to me to make it impossible for me to continue to live in this country. All right, thanks.